We begin with a war over an $800 million fortune. Gerald Kessler was the pioneer of natural supplements, and when he died, he left his massive fortune to his much younger new wife. Well, now it's blown up into an explosive legal fight. Our Anna Garcia has the story.
She's just become one of the richest women in America.
My name is Meadow Williams.
How did this little-known seductress from Tennessee with a long credit of D-list movies make her $800 million fortune?
A Hollywood actress marries a multi-millionaire, a vitamin tycoon 31 years her senior. She walks away with the family fortune after his death. It's the stuff that movies are made of, but this is a real-life family feud over the estate, and his heirs are talking exclusively to Crime Watch Daily.
She's gotten everything.
I think it's beyond words, this story. I couldn't even put a headline on it. It is so unbelievable.
The Daily Mail had no problem writing this headline, calling the new rich widow a gold digger bit-part actress who manipulated the will to get nearly $1 billion.
It's blatantly disgusting what she's done and took advantage of an elderly man.
Meadow Williams, whose real name is Melanie K. Williams, says she's a 39-year-old actress. Maybe 10 years ago. Crime Watch Daily has verified Meadow is really 49. She hit the marriage lottery when her 80-year-old husband, Gerald Kessler, who made his fortune in vitamins, died a few months ago. In the 1970s, when everyone was getting back to nature, Gerald Kessler was a pioneer in the vitamin and natural supplement industry.
Gerald Kessler was a true American entrepreneur.
Gerald made his fortune by creating the company Natural Organics, which produces Nature's Plus vitamins and Spirotine protein shakes. It's located in Melville, New York, and it's worth an estimated $500 million.
We all helped him build the business.
Gerald Kessler's heirs say they put their blood, sweat, and tears into this family business, and they want it back.
My brother, myself, and my sister worked for my father for 30 years.
The Kesslers have never talked publicly about their dad's red-hot romance until now.
She took advantage of my father when he was weak and not strong.
My grandfather was, he was a father figure to me.
Craig and Marshall Kessler are just 2 of the 8 Kessler children and grandchildren suing Meadow Williams, claiming she took their inheritance.
What she's done is so outrageously wrong that something needs to be done.
Meadow got most of the money, the mansions, and the company.
It causes great concern to the family that Meadow is the current CEO.
In 2002, Gerald met Meadow, and a year later, they began living together essentially as husband and wife. They were inseparable, says Meadow in court records, a storybook romance that lasted 13 years, says her attorney. Gerald bought her this mansion in Malibu and started financing her movies.
He provided a lot of money for her to get small film roles.
Gerald was producing more than vitamins. He was now producing movies.
I truly believe that this is going to be a great movie.
So do you think that Meadow was just using your grandfather to bankroll these movies so she could be an actress?
I think that that's part of her relationship with him.
How much money do you think your grandfather put into Meadow's movie career?
Anywhere from $5 to $10 million.
Did your grandfather make any money on these movies?
No, never made money on them. But they had premieres that he paid for.
Stepping in, Mr. Kessler, producer of The Raven.
Perhaps none more memorable than the premiere of Meadow's movie, The Raven. Meadow took publicity shots, popping out of a coffin, and at times, her dress. But it's what Meadow said in the ladies' room about her character's sexual powers that haunts the Kesslers.
Raven is the most awesome character. I mean, just think about it. You live forever. You never age. You're super powerful. You have all kinds of seduction ability for men.
In 2010, after 8 years together, Gerald and Meadow decided to get married. But first, Gerald would have to finally divorce his wife of 55 years, Betty Kessler.
So was anybody invited to this wedding in Las Vegas?
No.
Craig and Marshall say they've never even seen wedding pictures. The family says Gerald, who by now was in his 70s, became a reclusive newlywed, and they claim his new young wife did her best to keep them away.
Meadow intentionally isolated Gerald from the family.
It wasn't long after their vows, Gerald's health started failing.
He was very forgetful. He had severe liver cirrhosis.
In 2013, Gerald made changes to his trust. At age 78, he shocked the family when he decided to leave most everything to Meadow.
I believe that she manipulated him to change his trust and his will.
By Thanksgiving of last year, Gerald was seriously ill.
We're saying that Meadow neglected Gerald's needs and his care to the point that his condition deteriorated to such a dramatic degree.
How he looked was alarming to me. I had to pick him up. He'd fall at night and, hurt himself.
My father was left alone for 10, 12 hours a day by himself, couldn't get up to go to the bathroom.
The Kesslers say Meadow worked even harder to keep them away. The family filed a lawsuit accusing her of elder abuse.
He had a bed sore about the size of a grapefruit in his back. And bed sores only come about by willful and intentional neglect.
Meadow claims she was Gerald's primary caretaker, and in a sworn declaration, the new Mrs. Kessler says she was utterly and completely devoted to Gerald. But the Kesslers say she wasn't around much when Gerald was in the hospital.
I was there for 6 weeks. If Meadow was there for 6 days, it's a lot of time.
She didn't come to the hospital when he passed away. She skipped weeks at a time.
Craig and Marshall recount a day Meadow was on the phone in Gerald's hospital room.
It was me in the hospital room, my uncle was in the hospital room, the doctor and a nurse, respiratory nurse. They were actually tapping liquid from around his lungs. And she was in the corner of the room on the phone trying to get $3.5 million to fund the movie.
$3.5 million of Gerald's money, they say. After months in the hospital, Gerald Kessler died in March from complications of cirrhosis of the liver.
Meadow pretended to be the grieving widow.
Next, the dirty family secret they uncovered after Gerald Kessler's death.